Should you get lowering springs or coilovers? Everyone at one point has asked this question when looking to lower the stance of the vehicle. Is one better than the other? Are there pros and cons to each? Of course, there are pros and cons to each. Nothing is ever perfect. So let's get started and help you figure out what method best fits your needs and wants. Let's go over lowering springs first. Pros. First is the lower cost of entry. Lowering springs are usually about 50 to 70% cheaper when compared to a full coilover system. This means more money in your wallet for other parts. Second is lowered stance, which means lowered center of gravity, allowing you to not only look better, but corner better and have a heightened driving experience. Third is stiffer spring rates. This is kind of a double-edged sword, and I will go over that in the cons section as well. But stiffer rates can really help with performance driving, as it reduces body roll and front-to-rear rocking of the suspension. Fourth, nothing much to really mess up. Most of the reputable companies that create springs, such as H&R or Eibach, already take into consideration of the OEM strut or shock capability when creating their springs. And because there isn't any end-user adjustability, there's really nothing you can do to mess up a setting. Now, let's move on to cons. First is that you're stuck at the height of the manufacturer of the spring sets for your car. There's no adjustment like the coilovers to get that perfect stance, to get that perfect look, as there are zero adjustments. Second is that your OEM struts and shock life may be reduced. As much as the companies take into effective OEM struts or shock capability, in certain cases, mostly relating to those with non-sports cars with softer valving, there is a chance that you will decrease the life of the OEM struts or shocks. Third is the stiffer spring rates. So I mentioned this in the pro section, but it is also a con because stiffer rates can lead to uncomfortable ride quality, and you may have to upgrade your strut setup with better valving to mitigate this. So that covers our list for the lowering springs. So let's move on to the list for coilovers, starting with pros. First, coilovers allow you to select the height you want. So you can work to achieve that perfect wheel gap you're looking for and let your friends drool over how you can barely fit a piece of paper between the fender and your tire. Second, lower stance equals lower center of gravity. So the same pros as lowering springs. You can expect the vehicle to respond better in corner and give you a heightened driving experience. Third is that the struts or the shocks that are made to work with the spring rates and the lower stance of the coilover system itself, this allows for adjusting to have a good ride quality as well as good performance driving experience. Cons. First is the price. Coilovers can get expensive. Although there are cheap coilovers out there, you do need to spend at least $1,000 or more for a decent set of coilovers. Otherwise, you'll run into issues of poor quality and poor valving and struts with cheap eBay type coilovers. Second is actually in its adjustability. I know this was in the pro section, but it's great that you have that adjustability to change height, dampening, and sometimes even rebound. But for most people out there that aren't out there to dial in their car for racing purposes, this is just more ways to get the suspension setting wrong. This can lead to uncomfortable ride quality, bad bouncing, teeth rattling over bumps, rubbing on everything, etc. So that is pretty much the list for both lowering springs and the coilovers. What are your thoughts after looking over that list? Are you a lowering spring person or a coilover person? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.